I guess all of us left the room deeply moved. I remember how proud I was when Kofi Annan in 2005, or maybe 2004, introduced the concept of our obligation to protect. That we, the world community, we really have a responsibility, an obligation to protect. And then realizing that all these barbarities, atrocities in Syria have been going on for more than 3 years now. And that's where this play from yesterday comes in. Art comes in to help us understand and speak to our feelings. And Cynthia again said at the beginning of this conference, she felt that the people dealing with this crisis in the State Department, they've left their feelings aside, on the sidelines.
I was much disturbed by the framing of the performance, the patronizing of the performance and of the women. I thought they really were allowed to speak for themselves. With all good intentions, of course. But I think the performance will be so much stronger if you delete those who are there to try to support them.
One of the things I find fascinating about the conversation is they kept on, the group that had brought them to us, as Cynthia well knows, kept on telling me, remember they're amateurs, remember these are not professional acts. We viewed it as a professional piece because they are so good, it is so real. Their message to me, we spent 3 days negotiating with their handlers to actually have the performance on. They kept on trying to quit. Not the women. The women didn't want to quit. The people who were staging, et cetera, wanted to quit because they didn't like it. It wouldn't be professional enough, and we wouldn't appreciate it as a professional. And we saw it as a very well-staged professional piece, which can be criticized along those lines, which is an accomplishment, obviously, for the women. Stelios,
I just want to go back
is a Greek classicist, so
I think a lot of times when we think about these plays, we forget how they were staged and where were they staged. And there's something very radical about what Euripides did. He puts a tragedy in front of an Athenian audience criticizing the Athenians. That's what the play is all about. It's not about the Trojan women, but it's about Athenian atrocities at Miletus. And that's something very, very radical when it happened. It had never happened before. So he's absolutely right that it's as much as it is about us as it is about them.
It is beautiful, it is moving, and it is really uncomfortable. And that's okay. Part of the discomfort is the history and the colonization, the patronization is there. I mean, just in the way the room is set up, there's the audience, and the audience is in the position of this incredible guilty privilege. I felt really, at times, offended, but it was an offense of multiple mirrors of how to deal with seeing myself, seeing them, seeing us, seeing them. The complexity of what it means to want to interact with what is happening to them, because it's happening to all of us in a sense. This is our globe. Syria is not way over there. It's part of our lives.
I'm living in a paradigm, me, we, they. And then through this workshop, I started feeling we, because it's about the tension, me and you guys. And then the great thing is last night, I started having they. So I have a very interesting tension between me and we, and also me and they and we. So I felt a very complex humanity. So it was totally different than the other, like a play. I usually feel me and they, but yesterday we have 3 parties.